I was driving a truck on a deserted road at night. Suddenly, my track went off. I don't know what was wrong with it. At first it was moving somewhat, so I thought I would somehow reach the next town, which was about 1 hour away. But I was wrong. After 10 minutes that truck stopped suddenly. Before I could understand anything, the sound of the engine stopped completely. The truck slowly came to the side of the road. There was complete silence. The silence left me alone. I sat there for some time, kept thinking. I always get my truck inspected thoroughly and it has never betrayed me like this before. I kept trying to start it with the key, but the truck wouldn't start. The night breeze and the ground beneath my shoes were cold. I got out of the cabin and turned on the emergency lights. As I walked around the truck, everything looked fine, but a strange fear was growing in my heart. I said on the walkie-talkie that my truck has stopped. I am stuck on a mountain road. Is anyone there? I tried again. Is anyone listening? A little louder this time. Hello. In response there was only silence and only silence. I need help. The silence of the night became an omen for me. There was no signal on my phone. It was not possible to reach the nearest town on foot for such a long distance. I was stuck in a place where there was no one to call and no one to listen. I felt a strange tingling sensation at the back of my neck. The feeling you get when you know something is wrong, but you can't exactly tell what it is. I was about to head back to the cabin when I noticed a medium pair of headlights in the distance getting closer. Maybe it was a truck driver. Maybe it was some other truck. Someone who could help. At least he could have dropped me off at some further stop. I breathed a sigh of relief. As the car came closer, I could see that it was an old rickety Fiat Panda. Maybe he could have given me a lift to my destination. It stopped a few yards ahead of my truck. A man came out. He was short in height and had a strong body. He had a thick beard on his face and was wearing dirty and old clothes. There was a strange sparkle in her eyes which fascinated me instantly. In his harsh and rough voice he asked, "Do you need help? What happened?" For a moment I was not sure what reply I should give. I was stranded in the wilderness and it felt weird, but what did I have to want? I didn't have the strength to refuse. "Yes, my truck is broken now. I'm not sure what the issue is," I said, forcing a smile. "It has simply stopped." The man shook his head. His eyes were fixed on my truck. I watched as he walked towards my truck at a strange speed. He was walking with heavy steps. I didn't ask him any questions about his truck. I looked at the engine and tires. He circled around the truck. "It would be hard to fix here. Seems like a big issue." There was no special flavor in its voice. "If there was no special flavor in its voice, I can tow your truck there if you want. I have a small garage a little distance from here." There was something in his voice. A pang of panic rose in my stomach. Whatever felt wrong, kept feeling wrong. There was something in the way he looked at me. He wasn't offering any help at all. The night was somewhat historic and somewhat doubtful. "I appreciate your offer, but I was thinking maybe some other truck driver would be passing by here," I said hesitantly. The man's eyes narrowed. "You may have to wait for hours. Very few vehicles come here at night. If I can help you, I am here." Okay, this was a matter of debate. And I did not have any other option. "Thanks." Then I forced a smile, but her smile was unnatural and cold. Then he took out a thick rope from his Fiat Panda and I tied it to the front of the truck. He sat in his car, started the engine and slowly started pulling the truck. For about half an hour we continued walking at a leisurely pace on the paved and up-down path. The man was silent and there was something strange and mundane in his silence. Only darkness and mountains were visible. Finally we reached a small, hand-built building nestled in the foothills of the mountains. It looked like Gurja. But its walls were straight and the windows were broken. "Here," the man said, pointing towards my truck. He untied the rope and stopped his tongue. "Now you can relax inside, we'll fix it in the morning." It pointed me to a small room inside the garage which had an old bed and a wooden chair. There was a strange aura in the room, as if everyone was tired of the combined smell of old clay and kerosene and no one wanted to argue. I entered the room and closed the door. I lay down on the bed to try to sleep, but that strange fear did not let me sleep. After a while, I sat up and started listening by putting my ear towards the door. I heard moderate whispers and footsteps from outside. In the darkness I tried to see the shadow of that man and some people moving around Raj. He had some shiny things in his hands that looked like knives. I immediately realized what a huge mistake I had made. This guy wasn't helping, he was trying to trap me in some web, and because of that my heart started beating louder. People were busy on the other side of the garage, so I quietly opened the door and came out. There was a cracking sound. As soon as I took the step, but by then it was too late, I could have sneaked away. I thought, but I stepped on a broken wooden plank. They turned away immediately. There was a terrifying gleam in his eyes. They had shining knives in their hands. He was very smart. They grabbed me and dragged me inside. I tried to scream, but someone shut my mouth. The next thing I remember was a sharp pain, and then darkness fell. When I regained consciousness, I was tied up in a damp and cold room. I don't know how much time had passed. It was so dark I couldn't see, but I could feel severe pain in my body. Then I heard the same soft whispering sound that I had heard on the mountain path. But that time it was very close. The voice said, "Now you are ours." I kept trying to scream, but no sound came out of my throat. I knew my story was over. No one will come to help me in this deserted hilly area. Even today, when I pass near these mountain ranges, I remember that cold night and that terrifying face, and I always drive at a high speed. I try to run away from that place as soon as possible. Because now I know that the people who offer help on lonely roads are not always who they appear to be. Kabul can also become your worst nightmare.